Hey everybody, this is going to be a video about SPs, and it is about why I don't talk about SPs, but it will still help you regarding your SP at the same time. I tried to record this before and I was just over here talking and never hit the record button. So we are going to do take two and start again, and that's okay, I don't mind. Let me share the sound and pull up the conversation so that we can begin. So again, this video will be about why I don't usually teach about specific people. However, I am going to point out some of the same ways that I manifest everything else because it's not about the category, meaning SP, money, career, um, you know, personal appearance, things like that. It's not about those things. It's simply about your attention, about your focus, and what has it versus what doesn't. And we'll explain all of that as we go along. So let's start. And of course, if you have any questions after the video, please ask me in the comments because I do want to venture into more ways that I can express to you all about SPs because I'm noticing that it is coming up a lot. Even with my coaching, like my clients, I'm getting a lot of SP clients, and it's like one of the most popular categories when it comes to manifesting, even more so than money, which I personally can't wrap my mind around, but I get it because, again, anything I point out to you in this video regarding SPs, please understand that I have personally experienced them myself, which is why when I was talking to chat yesterday about this, I really went into myself to kind of express why I typically shy away from the topic altogether. And it's not because you can't manifest it. Of course you can. That's not it. It's just that sometimes it's a little difficult for me to tiptoe around your emotions and everything that you solidified with them in order for you to truly hear what I'm saying because you're so wrapped around wanting your SP to conform or wanting them, period. You just want them. And I'm telling you, there's something in that attached, almost obsessive wanting that is actually keeping you from them. And we're going to dive into it. So, again, why I don't usually teach about specific people and why stillness is the hidden key to them coming exactly as you prefer. You all are going to probably get tired of me saying stillness, but reporting live from the stillness after being there for so long, I have realized that it can be utilized for anything. It is what sustains everything. And when you start assigning assumptions to it and being still on purpose, nothing's off the table. Nothing. It simply just becomes about your attention to do the work, which is recognize your stillness. That's all I want you to do. And I'll explain that more. Let's start. When it comes to manifesting a specific person or SP, I usually tread lightly, not because the desire is wrong, but because most people chase an SP at the cost of their own peace. And peace comes from a sense of serene stillness. And when that happens, you start choosing noise over stillness. You start choosing obsession over certainty. You start choosing the story over the source within. And that's when things spiral. See, the desire for an SP is deeply human, but most approach it from a distorted lens. They attach, they chase, they analyze every move, they obsess over the 3D, they beg reality for proof, but they don't realize that obsession is not still. Obsession doesn't trust. Obsession doesn't manifest, it delays because it is a contradiction to having. You are not obsessing over trying to get someone if you already have them. And you don't realize you're obsessing because you just think that, but this is what's happening. They're not texting me back. They're not this. They're not that. They're not this. And this is the illusion and why it's a little tricky because even your attention on that is keeping you from placing your attention on the work necessary in order to eliminate that. And when you're so in it, no matter what I say sometimes, a lot of you aren't hearing it because you have made the SP just that more important, that it's blurring everything else. Love makes you nuts. And I get that. All right. Obsession doesn't manifest, it delays. So people struggle not because of the desire itself, but because of the fear wrapped around it. The fear of being hurt, the fear of rejection, the craving for reassurance, the subtle belief that love is outside of them. Very subtle, but it's there. The hidden belief that this person is more important than their own center. You probably say, I don't have time to be centered. I need to tend to this because I want my SP. But that thinking is wrong. You can't put something outside of you and label it as more important than the God within you. We serve a jealous God. Remember the Bible said that? And it's not jealous in the way that you think, as if there's some sort of retaliation. It's just that if your attention is not on what matters, it does not move because there's a contradiction, which is the importance in who's more important here. And I am telling you that it's you, not your SP. When you believe that, even subtly, you give the SP emotional authority over you without even knowing it. You put them on a pedestal. You make them the God of your reality. And suddenly, you're reacting to them instead of creating from you. But here's the truth, it's not them, it's your attention. That's it. That's the good thing. That's the best part about it, that it's just your attention, nothing else. Now, here's a shortcut. The shortcut to your SP is to shift from them to stillness. Shift your attention from them to stillness just for a little bit. If I can redirect your attention, even for a few minutes a day, off the SP and onto stillness, you'll begin to feel power again. Stillness is not passive, it's creative. Stillness is not empty, it's complete. It's not about doing nothing, it's about returning to the I am space, which is the origin of creation. It's where all things come from, even your SP. The field where everything already exists, including the version of them you desire, resides in that same space. I want you to think of stillness like an incubator. It houses all of creation. And when you place your awareness on that stillness, your RAS, reticular activating system, starts filtering your world through that assumption. Why? Because the law of assumption governs your life. And assumption doesn't need effort, it needs being. And if you don't know how to be, or why to be, or how to be, I've made an entire series, 5 videos, explaining the true mechanics of being. Because usually teachers will tell you to be, but nobody dissects exactly Why? Why does being work? What about being makes it actually work so that you can be comfortable enough to be? Those videos will satisfy your logical thinking so that you can just do the work and be. Stillness is being. Why this works according to the 8 laws that we've discussed in prior videos, the 8 laws that prove it. Number 1, law of assumption. Assume from stillness and your reality will conform. No resistance, no forcing, just inevitability. And that's why these days we are being creative as fuck by assigning assumptions to stillness. Because then that takes out all of the resistance, all of the forcing, and just leaves inevitability. Number 2, law of attention, frequency. Your reality follows your attention. Stillness is the highest frequency because it's undivided. And for my neuro knowledge fans, how many times does he say you can't outrun your frequency? Meaning you cannot outrun your attention. If your attention is placed on the lack of your SP more than it is placed on the inevitable obtainment of it through stillness, which I'll teach you as we go along, you can't outrun that. That's all you will experience. The intention that outweighs, that tips the scales, is the one that you will experience. And that is all based solely on you, no one else, not even your SP. Law of vibration. Number 3, stillness vibrates at the frequency of peace and completion, the exact vibration of the wish fulfilled. This is why I love the assumption stillness means the wish fulfilled. My stillness represents the wish fulfilled. However, you need to word that, but it's a good one. Because then, every time you recognize that you are still, you are also highlighting, activating the assumption that you've assigned to it. And in that knowing, that very split second of knowing, congratulations, you've done the work. That was it. That's it. Number 4, law of reflection. The world mirrors you. When your inner stillness says we're already together, the mirror must obey. Law of mentalism. All is mind. Stillness clarifies the mind because there's no resistance there. You stop going back and forth with your worth and your doubts and your fears. You stop begging for the reassurance. Stillness clarifies the mind. A quiet mind births clear manifestations. Think about it, incubator. A quiet mind births clear manifestations. Law of cause and effect. Stillness is the cause. The 3D is the effect. Law of oneness. You are not separate from your SV. You're one with the version of them who already loves you. Stillness collapses separation, which is why I love it, because you don't even need to believe that you are one. Some of you don't have your minds wrapped around the fact that everyone is you push out, and it doesn't matter. So what? Stillness in your recognition of it will activate your assumption. That's it. You don't need to know or believe that you and your SP is one. You don't need to believe any of these 8 laws right here because it doesn't matter. They're still in place and they're still going to work if you work them. Just like I don't know about the electricity running into these lights or how it gets to the bulb. I don't know none of that. I just know when I flip the switch, that motherfucker come on. And I'm telling you, I just know that when I am in recognition that I am being still, especially after I've assigned stillness to mean a certain assumption, then I've done the work. I've turned the switch on. That's it. The rest and how it gets there and light everything up, that's God. That's not my business. My job is to, that's it, effortless. Recognize that I'm being still. That's all. Number 8, law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is always shifting form. You shift it by where you place your attention because attention is where energy flows. Your attention is awareness. Awareness is God. So doesn't it make sense? You shift it by where you place God. Stillness transfigures energy. Stillness transfigures God. That's what I'm hearing. Because if God is that attention, it is that energy that flows to all of creation, and you're placing attention on stillness, which also transfigures energy. It's like one in, they're working together, they're in cahoots with each other. It's the perfect place to be mentally. It's the most intelligent choice that you can make when you've done all that you can do. Come home. When all else fails, come home and assume that coming home, that stillness means everything. I done did everything that I can do. I'm going to be still and let you do it. And I'm going to let this stillness mean XYZ. That's all you're doing. And me recognizing that I'm still means XYZ. That's it. And you need to trust in that every time you choose it. Because nothing matters prior to your choice. I don't care what you're feeling. I don't care what SP is saying. I don't care if they're saying I hate you. I'm never going to call you again. Fuck you, this and this and that. All of that stuff. I don't care. Be still. Stillness, my stillness represents that he'll call me today. Try it. Try and call me back. Let me know. Intelligent assumptions for SPs through stillness. These are some assumptions that these are some assumptions that chat has provided regarding SPs that you can apply to stillness. How do you apply an assumption to stillness? You simply say it. Your awareness is always with you, it hears you. It knows what you're going to say before you even speak. Just like it knew about this video before I even did. We are dealing with the alpha and the omega here, an intelligence that you can't even wrap your mind around, that our small little brains can't even grasp the full concept of, but we have enough of it to utilize it. You don't have to affirm all day. You don't even have to chase. Just let stillness speak on your behalf. That is what we are doing when we assign an assumption to stillness and recognize ourselves being still, and anchor one of these assumptions within it. Stillness reveals that we are already one. My peace proves their love. The more I return to myself, the more they return to me. In stillness, they align. My stillness magnetizes the version of them I prefer. Every breath I take in stillness is the version of us together. Love finds me because I return to the source of it. I am enough, and they reflect that back to me. My stillness represents that I am in a loving, loyal, committed relationship, one filled with integrity, honesty, and fun. That's my go to. And whenever I'm having my crazy girlfriend thoughts, I be still. And then stillness proves my assumption through the effortless action of me simply recognizing that I was still. That's all I'm doing these days. That's it. Why this is easier and more effective. Because when you stop putting them on a pedestal and put stillness in their place, your awareness, your essence, back in its rightful place, you stop resisting, you stop controlling, you stop needing, you start allowing. And that is when manifestation becomes inevitable. And I love that word. There it is again. Inevitable. This is how you walk through the emotional minefield of SP manifestation. And that's why I don't talk about it, because of all of the emotions that you can possibly step on in order for me to get you to do the work. But with this, you can tiptoe around logic simply by working it, not by controlling them, but by returning to what creates them showing up the way you desire. You. You're returning back to yourself, inward, which is the cause. A lot of us are trying to change the effect with an effect. Maybe I should call, maybe I should so and so, maybe I could do that, maybe I do. No. How about my stillness represents that they're going to call me today and I'm going to test this shit out that she's saying. So I'm just going to be still. I'm going to go on about my day. You can be still at the grocery store. You can recognize stillness when you're washing your hands. You can recognize stillness when you go for a walk today. You can recognize stillness in just about any fucking thing that you're doing. A sign that that stillness means that they're going to call you today. A sign that that stillness means that I will hear something from. A sign that that stillness will be a, this stillness will render a sign to me if I should even be with this motherfucker or not. How about that? Something must move. Because if you do the work after assigning the assumption and you deliberately on purpose with the power of your attention and intention, but attention outweighs intention because you can intend to do a whole lot of stuff. But if you don't put your attention on the intention and actually do it, then it's null and void. It's irrelevant. Attention outweighs your intention. But when you combine the two, that's where the magic is. So I want you to try it and test it out for yourself. The only thing blocking you is not fear or lack or even the 3D. It's your obsession with fear, lack, and the 3D. Shift your attention, shift your outcome. That's it. Now, I want to briefly say why some of you still won't even be able to hear what I'm saying. And here's what I want you to know, lovingly and truthfully. Even though this is the truth, some people won't be able to hear it, not because they're wrong or broken, but because attachment distorts clarity. You can't hear me from where you are vibrationally right now regarding your SP, and that's okay. When the SP becomes your identity, when the obsession feels safer than surrender, when control feels more productive than trust, then the mind will fight stillness because you are associating with stillness with nothing happening. But if I remain still and don't tend to them, then I'll lose them. And this is what I mean. You're still putting them on the pedestal. There is 4.10 billion men in the world, if I'm not mistaken, and 4.5 billion women in the world. Losing one should not be the end of the world. Because the real prize here is you. And anything that falls away from you is because they can't align with the vibration of you. And that's why you need to return back to self. All right. So, again, when control feels more productive than trust, then the mind will fight stillness. And that sucks because that's where everything comes from again. It'll call it giving up. It'll say it's not enough. It'll keep reaching outside for proof and miss the truth within. But eventually, the exhaustion will build. You'll eventually get tired of it. And the mind will burn out. And in that moment, they'll find stillness again. You'll end up right back where you should have been from the beginning in the first place. Because stillness sustains everything. Not as a last resort, but as the first answer that always was available. It was always available to you. You just didn't use it because you were so focused on the SP and not you. And the whole of you, where you actually reside, is in stillness because all of your attention is there. When you can recognize that you are being still, you are there in the house of the Lord. And awareness is its purest in stillness because there's no contradicting thought, there's no resistance, there's no doubt, there's no fears in it, there's nothing in it. It's just still, just aware stillness. This message is always available, but it's only audible to the ones who are ready to come home to themselves. All right. So, this has been the video about SPs, and I hope that I made myself clear. I hope that you can kind of understand what I'm saying as far as all of the different emotional factors that is involved with SPs. But as we continue to grow and as we continue to evolve and as I continue to test these theories for my own self and my own personal lives, I am coming to grips that you can bypass the discomforts of those emotions and still create regardless of whatever you're going through with your SP. And the only way that you'll know that is to actually show it to yourself. And the only way that you can show it to yourself is to actually do the work. So I'm calling an action out to you all. I want you to take an assumption that will benefit your SP circumstances. I then want you to say to yourself internally or out loud, this stillness now represents whatever it is that you want surrounding your SP. And I want all day today and every day for you to consciously take the moment to do the effortless action of recognizing that you are still in any given moment, doesn't matter what you're doing. Or you can be more deliberate and sit down to be still. Whatever you do, recognize you some stillness with the knowing that if I can recognize this stillness, I am also recognizing the assumption that I've applied to this stillness. Therefore, with the power of my attention, the power of my awareness, the power of my mind is watering that assumption, making it true, allowing it to flourish, which is manifest. Because you are funding stillness with your attention, and stillness is the currency of knowing, funding the knowing of your assumption, making it inevitable to manifest. Telling y'all what I know. That's been the SP video. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care.